What's happening, everyone? Michael Levis here. I asked my future scheduled guests to adapt their advice and responses to current times. This is a COVID-19 special edition where I will ask entrepreneurs how this current epidemic is affecting their business and life and what their advice is for you. I get it, Life Nation. I'm not just a podcast host. I'm an entrepreneur, just like you. My companies are having to pivot and innovate just to stay afloat, and I'm hearing it from guests and colleagues alike. Stay motivated, refocus, and trust me that those companies and individuals who truly strategize to get through this will flourish when it inevitably comes to an end.
You're listening to the Business and Life Podcast, where 7 days a week, proven entrepreneurs share their success stories, failures, and give you true value on how you can build a great business and an awesome life. With your host, Mike Olivas.
What's happening today, guys? Today I'm chatting with a detective and entrepreneur, Sam Gonzalez. Sam is the founder of Urban Box and Warriors Tackle Supply. All right, Samuel, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for being on here. So tell our listeners something interesting about yourself and also where you're calling in from today.
I'm calling from New York, Schenectady, New York. It's by Albany, New York, the capital of New York. What most people find interesting about me is that I'm actually a police detective. I've been in law enforcement for 15 years, and I run two online businesses.
Oh, is that right?
Yep.
Oh, very cool. So how long were you a detective?
Going out, detective now has been about 2 years, about a year. Then I did like a task force thing for a year, but overall in law enforcement, about 15 years now.
Oh, really cool. Yeah, I got a lot of my family is in the law enforcement world. So tell us a little bit about what your company does. We got Urban Box and there's one other.
Yes, Warriors Tackle Supply. So we have two DBAs. SGES LLC is my company, and we operate two online websites, e-commerce websites, and we specialize in subscription boxes, the subscription-based space that you can say. So with Urbane Box is kind of like a clothing subscription. So people go on our website, they select, their style, their sizes, and we pretty much curate a box from each month. So we'll put together an outfit for them from casual to business casual, and then we ship it to them on a monthly basis. I actually got that idea like 5 years ago. Working full-time as a police officer, I couldn't, too busy to shop. Didn't really like shopping. Most guys don't like going to the mall and shopping for clothes. So I kind of came up with this idea. I'm like, oh, it'd be cool if I can get like a clothing subscription. And there wasn't too many out there at the time. I think it was like Trunk Club was like the only one. It was like a high end, very expensive at the time. So I decided to create like a more affordable one. So I created I actually started with men's clothing, which was like called Cinch Menswear. And then I eventually changed it over to Urbane Box because we started offering women's clothing as well.
And who styles the box? Does the consumer style the box the way that they want it?
Well, they kind of select what they have. When they sign up, they can choose some different styles, so we can kind of see what kind of clothes they like and their style. So they kind of look at images and they select it, in which we can see. And then you also select between casual, business casual. Some people select both. So we'll kind of mix it up what we send, but we also look at their profile. So we'll have one of our stylists. Right now, my wife actually has been doing a lot of it too. So she'll go ahead and check out your profile and see what your style is, and she'll curate a box for you. And then the fulfillment center warehouse will ship it out to the customers.
Nice. Well, I rock a lot of white T-shirts and just white V-necks. What's my style?
Casual, you could say, right?
It's pretty damn casual.
Simple.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Simple.
I mean, some of these things I'll have a beanie on or I'll have a backwards hat on, but I think everybody right now is probably going to be in that casual world, and kind of caveat into a dovetail of where we're at in the world today with, the current situation of COVID-19 and the outbreak. And of course its effect on entrepreneurs and business owners all over the world. Has your company personally, and you of course, been affected, the business been affected by COVID-19?
Most definitely. And it was crazy how fast we saw Urbane Box get affected. Within, I would say, after the whole outbreak and, state, New York State mandated people to stay home for 2 weeks. we saw a drop in sales and 50% of sales are dropped in within 2 weeks. We saw a big drop. With that, I knew something had to be done. On our end, we had to kind of adapt. And like I said, I started another subscription box like a year and a half, 2 years ago. It's called Warriors Tackle Supply, a fishing subscription service, which I love to fish all the time. So I decided to create a subscription box tailored to something that I'd love to do and enjoy to do. So I created Warriors Tackle Supply, knowing that it was springtime. It's a big season for fishing, especially bass fishing. And I kind of stopped, reduced the ads for Urbane Box and allocated them towards Warriors to kind of help, since we operate both under one business. We knew that the clothing business right now is viewed as more the clothing solution. It's kind of almost like a luxury. It's not like people are cutting, they're losing their jobs and the uncertainty of the financial future right now with the economy. Everyone needs to make cut and trying to be smarter with their money. So we've seen that the clothing one actually drop, where Warriors Tackle Supply is a little different. It's a different market, different target audience. A lot of people who fish love to fish, and they're right now springtime's a big fishing time, and also you can kind of self-quarantine yourself out there on the lake, so you can be out there by yourself fishing. In most states, like Georgia, for example, has allowed that. You can actually go out on the lake and fish. It's considered a self-quarantine, so that's actually kind of helping us get through it right now.
Absolutely. I think that everybody's feeling it, and it starts trickling down, obviously, to every industry. Are you seeing subscriptions just kind of like get canceled because everyone's just at this point, really, they're trying to cut and hit every fixed cost that they currently had? Are you seeing some of that? Yeah,
exactly. A lot of the cancellations and a lot of the reason behind it's either one, they lost their job, or two, they just are trying to, for financial reasons, they'll say. So most of our cancellations, especially on the Urbane Box size, is because of those reasons.
Tell me what, and of course now you have, a tackle box type of all similar subscription model that goes down. I'm sure that same kind of model right on the back end in terms of making any kind of decisions on your end. Have you had to make some hard decisions or any kind of decisions or pivots, Sam, in terms of the changing of the business because of all this?
It's just more kind of allocating the ads from Urbane Box to Warriors, and the reason it was a difficult decision because I actually was kind of prepping Urbane Box to get ready to sell it. So I was kind of, when you're prepping a business to sell, the last thing you want to see is your sales dropping.
Sure.
I knew that between the economy being affected by this, people canceling because they're losing their jobs, I knew that reducing ad spend is just going to further hurt the revenue stream. Right. It's going to look negative on the business. And I kind of had to make the difficult decision to say, okay, I can't advertise towards a business that I know that people are making cuts to right now.
That's right.
So I decided to kind of put it towards Warriors to kind of help, because like I said, both it's under one company. So we're just trying to maintain, stay profitable, stay as much profitable as we can, stay afloat during these times. So that was a difficult decision to have to know that Urbane Box was actually, I started 5 years ago, and see it struggle so much the past month now. It was tough to say, okay, I'm going to stop as much ads as I can towards it. I'm advertising a little bit, just not as much as I normally would, just focus on Warriors. And I had to make that pivot. And now I know that most likely I probably wouldn't be able to sell it this year. I'm going to have to weather the storm. And once it is, hopefully we can get to the light to the end of the tunnel, I can start advertising towards Urbane Box and get it to grow again.
What's happening, Life Nation? Michael Levis here. This is a time to do the right thing, not the profitable thing. I'm giving away COVID-19 business strategy sessions for free. I promise to give you my honest advice and coach you on a strategy that I feel would be best for the longevity of your business. I'm not asking you for your money, but in the interest of being able to help as many people as I can, I am asking you to be ready with your 1 to 2 specific questions so we can jump right into it. Go to michaellevis.com/coaching and simply schedule a call on my calendar. That's michaellevis.com/coaching. Yeah, and I think I think you said something that really should resonate with our listeners. Is you said the word maintain, and I think that's really what a lot of just business owners, entrepreneurs. You can be in tech, no one's buying right now anyway, Samuel. So in reality, everyone's going to be waiting it out a good year, if not longer. And the story is going to be told because it's worldwide that, okay, here is COVID-19 era. Yes, the expectation from an acquisitional standpoint, by the way, Samuel, is never going to be like, where's the spike at? Now, some are, right? But that's going to be, farmers, right? And
Yes.
grocery stores. And there's very few industries that are going to see that spike. But what's good about staying alive is there's a story to be told. And an acquisition, if anything, is a story based off some numbers, right? But that story outside of saying like, hey, this is how Samuel pivoted and made some different changes and some hard decisions to ensure that the company not necessarily only maintained, but stayed alive. And those are some things I think that I know any type of acquisitional model or people are going to see how that worked. The systems were into place, or we were, a lot of clients that I have or chat with or advice that we're giving on a regular basis is, hey, stay alive, and here's how you do it. You make the fixed cost. You cut those as much as you possibly can. Yeah, advertising. Why are you doing that if you're advertising something that's not being bought right now? Can you go and get your current clients right now and give them some great options to, now that you cut X, this still comes in, or it shows more value to those that are already loyal to you, right? And those are some great pivots that a lot of people are doing, I think, but our backs are against the wall, Samuel. You get it. I get it. Hopefully our listeners understand it and also know that they're not solo in this world, because right now, especially in the United States now, it's becoming more and more relevant or prevalent that we're not going to be seeing light at the end of the tunnel immediately, but we do hope that we see it sooner than later. So of course we get another, economic boost. Is there any specific advice that you give to business owners out there, Sam, in terms of what you've done, kind of what you would say on the outside looking into any business owner that's going through this hell, if you will?
Well, it's like I said before, I think it's a tough time, but you have to stay afloat. Either you might maybe look at GM right now. They are making ventilators and respirators. They're kind of making a pivot. So a lot of those companies right now, you kind of just have to make a pivot or maybe try to find, maybe you can offer something that could help people during these times, and maybe sell something. Maybe if you have a product, maybe if you have a brick and mortar and you never thought about selling online. A lot of people are sitting home right now and they're purchasing things. Maybe you can sell necessity stuff, or even some of your products online. I mean, you can go to Shopify and start an online website pretty quickly. And if you have a brick and mortar, I'm sure during now, many people have Facebook and social media. So you have your loyal customers, and I know around here, and I'm sure it's happening all over, people are going and trying to support their local businesses, either by doing takeout, pickups, if you can maybe offer some pickup. Because I know in New York right now, you can't really, some employees aren't, unless you're essential, you can't work, but if you're the owner, you have to go in that store and start packing and maybe doing some pickups or something to kind of help you stay afloat, or shipping to people, or doing, shipping out products to people. You just kind of have to pivot and see what you can do to keep your business afloat. And that's also like, maybe with cash is really important. So maybe if you have to reduce your ad spend, because if you're not getting the sales, maybe reduce the ad spend so you can maintain, cash to help, weather the storm.
Yeah, and I think that's some good points there. Like, we have those that have the time that maybe have lost their position maybe they work for a corporate company and you're listening and you lost a position. Obviously, create a new skill set. There's so many crazy online, type of just courses that you can take. And there could be a lot of digital marketers coming out of this, even though there's a lot of them already, but there's a lot of digital marketers, coming out of this, or Shopify, right? And it's not about, I think the understanding should be, or the expectation for those that are listening, like, maybe I can open up a Shopify or something like an online digital marketing, or digital kind of like maybe online shop. Yes, you can. The expectation shouldn't be that you're going to start selling today or tomorrow. But what if you built something that looked great, you felt great, is exactly the way you wanted it? So when the time came, you've already built the infrastructural process on the back end and the front end to click play when the time comes, when we all go back. Wouldn't that be nice, right? This is the time to do it, because watching every Netflix series gets you nowhere. And I just really, I hope that someone's out there and understanding and listening that, yes, okay, it's either I watch one thing or learn another. And I think it's definitely a better idea to create a skill set during this time that we all have. And hopefully there's a lot of people out there listening that are getting a little bit more and more motivated after several of these podcasts, that people are doing that. And I hope they continue to do it, especially, and it's hard to get motivated. I get it, man, but you're on your couch anyways, right?
Exactly. I think you make some great points. You also just utilize the time now. Maybe you had a business idea that you never really went after for, and maybe it's right now it's time to, maybe it's a website or something. I actually taught myself how to make my own websites.
Yeah.
5 years ago, there's a lot of YouTube videos out there, and there's a lot of websites out there that can help you grow or build a website. But like you said, it's not going to happen overnight. Trust me. I remember it took a while for my first sale. So, but maybe you can hone in on some skills that you never, thought was possible. Maybe you can learn a new skill that can possibly help your business now, and maybe even the future, and maybe get you growing quickly after this, hopefully this COVID-19 comes to the end soon.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think people forget the great amount of information that's already out there that we can be tapping into, and just like you, like learning your own way and learning the website world or any kind of content, best practices. That all comes with time, and we have time. And so, whenever I'm asked on a podcast or whatever it might be, an interview, it's how did you learn entrepreneurship or business? It's like Google. Google was my MBA. YouTube was my MBA. Like I just figured it out, learned it, failed, kept going. Right, and everybody does that from an entrepreneur standpoint. And I think this is a great time to be able to do that and put some time and effort into that new skill set. Out of all your successes and failures in business and in life, Sam, what is the one piece of parting advice that you'd give to the business and life listeners out there today?
I actually go by the two P's. It's patience and perseverance. I was on a podcast years ago and I actually mentioned patience, perseverance. And I think it can actually go, one, if you're just starting a company, and two, now, if you already have a company, you have a business and it's struggling. Patience, just because when you start a business or you start a website, whatever, it's not going to happen overnight. You have to have patience. You're going to have to try to do some blogs or try to get some organic free traffic to your site to create some more revenue so you can advertise. And then the perseverance part is that running a business, as you know, it's never going to be easy. There's going to be struggles. And especially now, it's about trying to push through, come up with new ways, and, be perseverant. Maybe you have to pivot or do something different to kind of overcome these struggles or these challenges. I'll give you like a quick example with Urbane Box Cinch Menswear. We were we started off like a styling service. So we would send you a box and you tried it on and you got 10 days to try it on. If you didn't like it, you would return it. And I quickly realized that I didn't have enough capital to fund that. So like the 10-day try, and I was losing a lot of money too. So I decided to pivot at the time to do a flat rate, low affordable subscription box, monthly fee. And that helped us get through that time. And then I also, what can I do to increase my sales? I added women's clothing after I got, the men's going. And then look at now Urbane Box is hurting because of the economy. I had to pivot again. Now I had to focus my revenue towards Warriors Tackle Supply. You're always pivoting. You have to make changes. If you don't during these, you're just gonna just go down like a deep nosedive into the bottom, and you're not going to overcome these struggles. So that's my main thing is about patience and perseverance. If you could just follow those two things, be patient, but also be strong and be able to make those changes and pivot when you have to, you can overcome this. And it's just going to make your business stronger and make you stronger as an individual.
That's great advice, Samuel. And where can people find you if they're more interested about learning more about your company?
You can go on urbanebox.com or warriorstacklesupply.com.
Samuel, awesome. Thank you so much for your time today and dropping some of that knowledge with us.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Life Nation, you got to remember that in order for things to change, you must change. And in order for things to get better, you must get better. You just got better by hanging out with me, Michael Levis, and the Business and Life Nation. So come back tomorrow because I'm here dropping sound bombs 7 days a week, baby. If you'd like to subscribe, please do, so you can take action and execute. See you tomorrow.